Hey guys, Musa here, and today I'm bringing you my post-game recap of the Seattle Seahawks taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Now, let's get on with the stats of the game. Kicking it off with the Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson had 36 passes, 20 of them being completed, 181 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Now, Russell Wilson has done decent, and I think he can do a lot better than that. But to be honest, the offense was very, very bad at the beginning of the game. But honestly, they got back in rhythm and then ended up scoring some touchdowns and winning the game. But what I think of Seattle in this game, they should have done a lot better on offense. Our offense should have done what our defense was doing. Basically, our defense was stopping him. And then we get the points. And then our defense becomes trash again, but not too much because honestly, our defense held them to 23 points. That's all we needed to do. We did our job on defense, but on offense, I think Russell Wilson and that offense needs to start improving. Now, when it comes to the rushing game, Chris Carson had 11 carries for 44 yards, Alex Collins had 5 carries for 29 yards, and the only rushing touchdown of the game, Russell Wilson, 5 carries for 29 yards, and Rashad Penny, 6 carries for 19 yards. Very good when it comes to touchdowns, honestly. But Chris Carson's doing his job. Alex Collins is doing his job. We're all doing our jobs, and that's all we need to do. And they did their job very well. So I commend Seattle for rushing the football very, very well, but not during the entire game, of course, because the offense wasn't doing that much in the first half. Now, when it comes to the receiving game, Tyler Lockett had 14 targets, 12 receptions, and 90 yards, and he was the one who got the 2 touchdowns of the game. Now, Chris Carson had 2 targets, both of them being completed for 39 yards. 9 targets and 3 receptions for DK Metcalf and 21 yards. 2 targets and 1 reception for 20 yards for Will Dissly. Jacob Hollister, 3 targets, 1 reception for 6 yards. And then 1 target and 1 reception for David Moore for 5 yards. And Freddie Swain dropped his only pass of the game. Honestly, very well. We did very well when it comes to the passing game at the second half, honestly. Because we were atrocious in the first half on offense, as I stated before. Honestly, Tyler Lockett did his job. He did what he needed to do. We got the 2 touchdowns from him. We got a touchdown from Alex Collins. We got the 2 field goals. Honestly, I think that Jason Myers has not missed an field goal during the entire season. So, honestly, if we keep doing that, we keep scoring field goals and touchdowns like this, I think we can beat the Los Angeles Rams. And especially if the Rams don't play Jared Goff. Now, for the defense, we got Jordan Brooks with 9 total tackles, 5 solo tackles. Then Shaquille Griffin with 6 total tackles and 6 solo tackles. And then we get Quandre Diggs with 6 tackles and 5 solo tackles. Then Bobby Wagner, 6 tackles, 3 solo tackles. DJ Reed getting 5 tackles and 2 solo tackles. Then we go to Ugo Amadi with 4 tackles and 4 solo tackles, and one of them being a tackle for loss. Then we get Ryan Neal, 4 tackles, 3 solo tackles. And then we get on to KJ Wright with 3 tackles, 3 solo tackles, and 1 tackle for loss. Jamal Adams, same stats as KJ Wright. Cody Barton, 3 tackles, 3 solo tackles. Very good. Benson Mayowa getting 3 tackles, 2 solo tackles, 2 sacks, and 1 tackle for loss, and a QB hit. We've been getting to the quarterback very well in this game. Then we go to Rasheem Green with 3 tackles, 2 solo tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and 2 QB hits. Then Nick Bellor, yes, our fullback had a few defensive stats, and he got 2 tackles, 2 solo tackles, and that was it. Poona Ford, same as Nick Bellor, except he also got a QB hit. Michael Dixon, our punter, also got in the game, making some tackles, as he got 1 tackle and 1 solo tackle. Then we go to Alton Robinson with 1 tackle and 1 solo tackle and a QB hit. Then Carlos Dunlap really has not done that well in this game, but he had 1 pass defended and a QB hit. Then LJ Collier with a 1 QB hit. Now, on defense, we did our job. We held them to 23 points. And honestly, I am impressed with our defense. Because on defense, we're doing well. We're doing well. And honestly, I think that this team should be able to beat the Los Angeles Rams next week. Up next, we got the San Francisco 49ers stats. Now, kicking it off with the quarterback stats, we got CJ Beathard throwing 37 passes for 25 being completed, 273 yards, a touchdown, no picks. Very good for a backup quarterback. Honestly, very good. I think he's a third string, actually, because it was Nick Mullins was the backup quarterback. And now the backup quarterback is Josh Rosen. I would have imagined he played against Seattle, but they decided to go with CJ Beathard, and he did very well. But it wasn't good enough to beat Seattle, even though it wouldn't have been for anything. It would basically just be for Seattle to not get the 2 or 1 seed. And to be honest, it didn't matter because New Orleans and Green Bay both won. So, to be honest, it didn't actually matter if they beat us or not because we'd still be the 3 seed. In the rushing game, we got Jeff Wilson with 20 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. And then CJ Beathard, 3 carries for 10 yards. And Kyle Juszczyk his only carry for no yards. And honestly, they did well. Jeff Wilson did amazingly for the 49ers. And honestly, that was very, very impressive from him. And hopefully he gets a lot of recognition next year as the 49ers are eliminated from the playoffs. But hopefully he gets some more playtime next year because honestly he could be a rising star in this league. Now when it comes to receiving game, Kendrick Moore with 6 targets, 5 receptions, and 76 yards. George Kittle, 9 targets, 7 receptions, and 68 yards. Richie James with 5 targets for 3 receptions and 66 yards. Ross Delaware getting 2 targets, both of them being completed, 21 yards. River Crackraft getting 2 targets for 2 receptions and 17 yards. Jeff Wilson, 7 targets for 3 receptions for 12 yards, and the only passing touchdown. Both touchdowns were scored by Jeff Wilson. And then Jerick McKinnon, 1 target, 1 reception, and 6 yards for him. And Kyle Juszczyk with 2 targets, 1 reception, and 4 yards. And Charlie Warner getting 1 target and 1 reception and 3 yards. I think the passing game is honestly very good for the 49ers, especially when George Kittle caught that one-handed ball in the game. I think that play was incredible. I thought he had dropped it when he fell on the floor, but I saw the replay and I was like, wow, this guy actually caught it. I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, this guy is a freaking Madden player. Like, it's like when you play Madden and you're able to do all the things that you do in Madden that sometimes look impossible. Like, George Kittle did some things, not only this season, not only the previous season, but in this game. Like, George Kittle is one of the best tight ends in football, or I think the best tight end if it weren't for, well, I'm not going to count Gronkowski as he isn't that good this year, but I would say George Kittle and Travis Kelce are the top tight ends in this league right now. Now, when it comes to the defense, we got Fred Warner, 10 tackles, 8 solo tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss, and 2 QB hits. Jason Verrett getting 9 tackles, 8 solo tackles, and that was it. Azeez Al-Shaair getting 9 tackles, 7 solo tackles, a tackle for loss, and a pass defended. Travarius Moore getting 4 tackles, 4 solo tackles, and that was it. Jimmy Ward, 4 tackles, 3 tackles solo, and that was it. 4 tackles, 2 solo tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and a QB hit for Deontay Johnson. DJ Jones, 4 tackles, 2 solo tackles. Kentavious Street, 3 tackles, 1 solo tackle. And then you get to Eric Armstead, 2 tackles and 1 solo tackle. Matthew Cole, 2 tackles, 1 solo tackle. Demetrius Flanagan Fowles, getting 2 tackles. And then you get Akil Witherspoon with 1 tackle, 1 solo tackle, and a pass defended. And Kerry Hyder getting 1 tackle, and Alex Barrett getting 1 tackle as well, and Darian Daniels with 1 tackle as well. Honestly, Very good defense for San Francisco, not good enough to allow Seattle to come back in the second half, but to be honest, they did very well at the beginning of the game. And I commend them for holding us to only like about 6 points, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. But honestly, they held us. And that's what they needed to do. And they kind of did that in the first half. They forgot about it in the second, but still. They still did it. And honestly, I commend them for that first half dominance on defense. Now, this game ended up a 23-26 win for Seattle. And honestly, as I stated, it was going to be played somewhere else, not in San Francisco, or better yet, Santa Clara, as COVID restrictions and all that. But it was played in Arizona. And honestly, I think that this game was incredible. And honestly, it was putting me on the edge, because I was like, man, I really would love that number 1 seed. But it wouldn't matter anyways, because both New Orleans and Green Bay won. And it was clear that New Orleans was going to win. So if at least Green Bay had lost, we had gotten the number 2 seed. But unfortunately, the Green Bay Packers won. They got the 1 seed, the Saints got the 2 seed, and we got the 3 seed. But it doesn't matter. We go against whoever wants to play. Whoever wants to come and play, will play and will hit you hard. And honestly, I think Seattle is ready for the Los Angeles Rams this coming Saturday. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tweet me video ideas. Also, tell me down in the comments below, what was your favorite part of the game? Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe and hit the notification if you want more videos, and I'll see you guys next time.